Hi, everybody. So we're walking to the weekend, and this weekend we celebrate the Feast of the Epiphany. So, the parish has their big Epiphany party. It was one of the big parties of the church. And in it is the liturgical celebration that we celebrate at Mass. Obviously, that's where everything begins. What we do at church spreads into our personal lives, right? That's the way that our faith works, if we allow it to. So, Epiphany Sunday. Imagine the story that we're going to hear in the Gospel. It's a beautiful story, and let's not turn it into a child's story. This is in the Gospel. This is one of the truths of our faith. So we hear the story of the Magi. Who are they? They have been studying the stars. That's their life's work, right? That's what they do. They chart the stars. They read the stars. And imagine, to their amazement and surprise, a star so enormous and brilliant and astonishing captures not only their attention, but their imagination and their wisdom, right? So this is what they do. And they see this star, and that star in the sky for them is an epiphany, right? That's what an epiphany is. An epiphany is God breaking through the ordinariness of our life. And when it happens, you and I are supposed to respond. Like the wise men, what did they do? They began a journey to follow that star and to search for the king, the baby king. So imagine them and their travels. We're not told how long they walked. We're not told a whole lot of detail about that. But the important thing is they did move. They did look and search and ultimately find. And what do we hear in the Gospel? We hear that the star rests over where the baby Jesus is, and they are filled with joy. So I remind you and I that when we find God, our hearts are filled with joy as well. Their journey, their life's work is an imprint for you and me, because what we find in our spiritual life, if we allow it to, are those epiphanies, those breakthrough moments that give us a glimpse of the good, the true, the beautiful. And all of those things are what is ultimately from God. When we have an experience of the good, an experience of the true, an experience of the beautiful, it is an experience of the Creator and the actual good and beautiful and true itself. Isn't that what our spiritual life is? So again, going back to the life work of the wise men, our spiritual work is prayer, week in, actually day in, day out, Mass, week in and week out, maybe even daily Mass. Why do we do that? So that we pay attention, so that we listen, so that we watch for those breakthrough moments when Christ speaks to us. Those epiphany moments ultimately are what lead us to the Christ who breaks through in those moments. May we be Epiphany people. May we be people that listen and watch for God breaking through in our life. Imagine, these wise men not Christian, from another part of the world, seeking our Savior. Imagine in that story, Herod, who, when he hears from the wise men about this baby king, seeks to destroy it. There's a lot for us to think about with this reading. Do we search for that baby king? Do we search for Christ at all? Do we allow him into our life? Do we allow him to love us and save us? On this Epiphany Sunday, ask yourselves these questions, because I am. And I will see you at Mass. So I invite you to come to the Epiphany party. We celebrate our altar servers at that party. And so we may have a visit from 3 kings, you never know. And we have king cakes and all sorts of things that allow us to celebrate this beautiful celebration in our church. So I'll see you at Mass and hopefully at our party. Thanks be to God.